In a small town, there was a young lady called Mary. This lady was so beautiful that she was the talk of the whole town. In that village, so many young men from the neighboring city was coming for her hand in marriage, but because of her beauty, she rejected all of them. And also because she was getting so much money from the men she was dating, so she needed to live her life first before getting married. Mary began to move with the high and mighty men from the big city. You know what I mean? The big boys of the city. So her love for money now surpassed her love for her self-worth because these men were offering her a huge sum of money. The richer the men Mary dated, the more she lost her self-worth and self-control. Most of these men made her do things that she wouldn't have done normally. They even took pictures of her in nasty positions. The funny thing is that Mary actually knew that these pictures would put her into trouble someday. And she didn't care because her love for money was bigger than her love for her self-worth. So she continued what she was doing and she was enjoying them. Now, the news about Mary and her love story spread around the neighboring cities and every rich man wanted to have her. Wow. So one cold Saturday evening, when it was about to rain, Mary was so hungry and she entered into her kitchen to find something to eat. She even searched her fridge, the house, nothing to eat, and she was very hungry. She needed to eat. So Mary had to go outside to get something for herself. So when she was heading to the grocery store, a young man named Obi saw her from a distance. The guy was very rich. He was riding in a very fine SUV car. As Obi approached Mary, he could see her perfectly drenched body figure from afar, and immediately he was attracted to her. You know, men, they like what they see. So because of this, he moved closer to Mary and offered to drop her off. And because of who she is, she accepted immediately. So when they were in the car, they got talking. Obi asked her her name and she said Mary. Immediately, Obi heard Mary. Obi thought to himself, are you sure this is not the Mary that everybody has been talking about? Initially, before she told her his name, he had a very good intention for her. He wanted to have something good with her. I mean, a relationship. But because of that name, he changed his mind. So he thought to himself, if this could be the Mary people have been talking about, maybe I could have my own share or my own taste of what everyone is having. So when they got to the grocery store, they exchanged their contacts and went their separate ways. 2 weeks later, Obi called Mary on phone and invited her to the big city to spend the weekend with him. Mary complained that she would be busy that weekend, but Obi offered her 1 million naira. Wow! Imagine, immediately, Mary accepted to come to the big city to meet him. All through the night, Mary was imagining what she could do with that huge sum. She began to fantasize on her enjoyment when she gets to the big city because it has always been her dream to visit there. So Mary thought to herself that she has caught a big fish, that if Obi could give her 1 million naira, that means he could also do some other things for her, like shopping in Lagos, vacation in Dubai, and so many other interesting things. So the next Friday, she packed her belongings and headed to the big city. Obi welcomed her when she arrived. So when she came to the house, it was a very beautiful house. She was admiring the whole place, including the furniture, fittings, and everything. When she was doing that, she sighted two men in the dining room. She thought to herself, who are those men? She was so surprised to see them because they didn't even look like visitors. So she asked Obi who those men were. Obi told her to shut up and get to work. Mary was so surprised. She imagined if this was the same Obi she met few minutes ago. So when she was trying to understand what Obi meant by go to work, Obi told her again, get to work. While Mary was still talking to understand what was going on, the two men grabbed her into the inner room and left Obi in the other room. Hi, are you tired of unreliable service providers and artisans in Nigeria? Discover top-notch service providers and artisans with anyservice.ng. Your one-stop solution awaits at www.anyservice.ng or download the AnyService NG app on Google Play Store. When they got to the room, they tied Mary to the bed. 20 minutes later, one of the men came out of the room and Obi went in. He saw that Mary has been tied to the bed. So Mary looked at him and pleaded for her to be set free. But Obi refused. Obi told her that she has been paid in full for them to have fun with her. Mary pleaded again. So Obi now took pity on her and told her that the only way she could be set free is if she would be able to return the 1 million naira that was paid to her. But that was not going to be possible because Mary has already spent 300,000 naira from the money. So she pleaded with Obi to make a part payment and complete it later. But Obi refused. Obi said she either paid the 1 million naira in full or she remained in the house while they have their way with her. Mary was so broken, but she had no other choice than to agree with them. On Saturday, the men had their way with Mary. One of the men slept with her in the morning, the other in the afternoon, and the other at night. On Sunday, the same thing. On Monday morning, they released her to go home. Mary left so quietly and returned to her small town. When she got home, she locked up her door and began to cry. She cried and there was no one to console her. Obi and his friends has broken her spirit and she couldn't bear this. She just locked up herself in her room for that day because she could not even say anything to anyone and there was no one to console her. 2 months later, when Mary was in the office, a colleague of her met her and asked if she had seen the trending video on social media. But Mary said no and she was eager to see the video. So when her colleague showed her this video, do you know that it was a video of Mary with the 3 men she slept with? Mary was so surprised. She was shocked. She never knew that Obi made a video of her and those men. So immediately she noticed she was the one in this video. She fainted. She was rushed to the hospital. When Mary woke up at the hospital, she noticed that the video has gone viral with over 3 million views and 3,000 comments. She was so damaged. As if that wasn't enough, the doctor walked into her room and told her she was 8 weeks pregnant. Wow. So 2 days later, Mary was discharged from the hospital. Can you believe that nobody visited Mary when she was at the hospital? Not even her friends and colleagues. Everyone was avoiding her because of that video. The fact she was a bad girl. No one wanted to relate with her or have anything to do with her anymore. So as she was leaving the hospital, she was lost in thought that she was almost knocked down by a vehicle while crossing the road. But luckily for her, the vehicle was able to stop and she and her unborn baby were safe. When Mary got home, she had a very deep thought about her life in the past few months and she was so much disappointed in herself. So she recalled what her friends always say, that men are scum. Now she believes it and we want to do something about it.